everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, and today I'm going to show you a slideshow about Einstein, his life and universe, written by Walter Isaacson. A brilliant book. This book was written by Walter Isaacson, and the book was started by calling Einstein a light beam rider. This book is brilliantly written and is an exceptional biography of a legend which we'll never forget. Isaacson has given a different aspect to Einstein's personal life and tough times and beautifully concluded the brilliancy and mastery of Einstein. Note my words that Isaacson has said that Einstein's brilliancy was an unbelievable freedom of intellect, thought, and moreover imagination. I would like to begin with Einstein's summary by a beautiful thought, which is written by Einstein. Life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. This is one of my favorite. So, starting from Einstein's childhood, Albert Einstein was born on 14th March 1879 in Ulm, Germany. They were a typical German Jewish family, and they were a middle-class family. From the childhood, Einstein was a bit slow to learn and had some speech disorders, but still he was very patient for math and science. So, Einstein studied in Leopold Gymnasium for all junior classes. Shortly, he left that school and joined Argo Continental School for his higher classes. Then, he gave the best of him and got a 5.5 out of 6 in his 12th standard and was graduated to Zurich Polytechnic in October 1896. During graduation, Einstein fell in love with a girl, Mileva Merrick, who was just like him, penchant for math and science. Einstein had been in Aarau, Switzerland for past 1 month before the graduation, so his proposals got dismissed by other American scientists had done before. You can see this photo, Einstein sitting with 3 other men. They were his best competitors. So his grades were too poor. He stood 4th in the class of 5 and was only got a diploma, but Mileva failed on the other hand. Here we have a great news, Einstein's first paper published. So, his first paper published was over capillary effect, how just because of pressure, water clings to the narrow space without any assistance or even in opposition to any other forces like gravity. His first paper was of capillary effect published by Annalen der Physik, Europe's leading journal in March 1901. But still, anyway, the paper elicited no comment and contributed nothing to the history of physics. Surprisingly, Einstein not getting a job. Among the many surprising things about the life of Albert Einstein was the trouble he had in getting a job. He also rejected one of his friends' offer getting a job in an insurance company, dismissing it as an 8 hours of drudgery every day. His friends and relatives also gave up giving him any financial support. But after 2 years, Einstein finally got a job and he was elected as a technical expert class 3 of the Federal Office for Intellectual Property with an annual salary of 35,000 francs. Seriously, these things are unbelievable. Einstein not getting a job. Now, Einstein a dad. In the meanwhile, when he was trying to get a job, Mileva Mary got pregnant with Einstein's baby, but they were not married. Soon after, Mary gave birth to a baby girl, Laisel, but she was in Novi Sad and Einstein was in search of job in Bern. So actually, at that time, the family was really disturbed. But Einstein became a dad. Einstein married life. On January 6, 1903, in the Bern's Registrar Office, Einstein and Mileva got married, and shortly after that, on 14th May 1904, Hans Albert was born, his second child. One thing, Lassen has been a family mystery in Einstein's life. Actually, because at that time, before marriage, children were not expected. So Einstein family and Mileva's family did not actually accept Laser being their child because they were not married. So actually, she was left somewhere and was adopted by some other person. Mileva was in great despair, and for so long, she was not able to accept it. Einstein begins to write papers by 1902. Einstein started to write various papers, which he used to publish in every 6 months or so. His papers were on defining old concepts and basic characters with new theories and hypotheses. His thesis and hypothesis were on the determination of the molecular dimension, which became one of the most cited and useful papers. And even though he did not get any academic job out of it, but after he was known as Dr. Einstein, he got that name. Let's talk about relativity. Okay. Relativity is a simple concept. It asserts that the fundamental laws of physics are the same no matter in whichever state of motion you are. You see that old man sitting? So he says, I'm at rest, the plane is moving. But that woman in the plane can say, I'm at rest, the earth is gliding first. You must have got some idea what is relativity about. It's about comparing two things, that you are in motion or you are in rest. Now, it is the imagination of Einstein, and it's a fact also. You see this man and you see this gun. This is a man in his car uh, with a gun, and he shoots the bullets in the direction of his car. Okay? And it is believed that the bullet will hit faster. But in another case, here's the man, here is the man with the car, and here's the gun. If he shoots the bullet in this way, but the car is going in this way, the bullet will hit slower. See the imagination of Einstein, and this is actually a fact. And similarly, here's the star, here's the earth, and here is the starlight. Starlight would be emitted from a star at 186,000 miles per second. And in another case, if starlight is moving, it will be 10,000 miles per second. The speed of light would be 196,000 miles per second for an observer on Earth. If the star is moving, the starlight would be, faster. But if the star is at one place, the speed would be decreasing. At last, E is equal to mc squared, burst of creativity in 1905. So, what does it mean? What does it mean E is equal to mc squared? It is the world's most famous equation. But what does it really mean? Energy equals mass times the speed of light squared. See that picture? E is equal to energy, m is equal to mass, and c is speed of light, which is constant. That's why it is denoted by c. So, on the most basic level, the equation says that energy and mass are interchangeable. They're different forms of the same thing. Okay, this is why a tiny amount of matter it converted completely into energy gives an enormous punch. You know more vividly, the energy in mass of one raisin could supply most of New York City energy for a day. Even out of my imagination, but still, I got it. Einstein's dream coming true. In 1909, after analyzing the theories, experiments, and theses of Einstein, Zurich Polytechnic offered Einstein a professorship in their college. Einstein, being a little poor in teaching skills, was astonished that how can he get a professorship offer? But Einstein gave a lecture to some students at Bern with a Zurich Polytechnic observer present there. He was impressed. And then Einstein packed his bags and was off to Zurich with Merrick and his son Hans to be the professor of the college from where he himself had studies. Beautiful. And in between, Einstein being a really good dad. In July 1910, Mary gave birth to another son, Edward, with a lot of difficulty and pain. She was sick for weeks and Edward was a little mentally ill. At that time, Einstein used to take care of his sons and also gave an example of his immense concentration powers. One of Einstein's friends who came to his home, when he was ringing the bell, Einstein was not listening actually, and the door was open. So he just opened the door and, peeked in what's going on inside. And imagine a scene, baby Edward on Einstein's left arm, swinging, Hans then a toddler on his knees, swinging, and Einstein's right hand scribbling complicated mathematical equations. Even the loudest baby crying didn't seem to disturb him. Wow. Then divorce and remarriage. After the miracle year, 1905, there were many disputes between Einstein and Merrick. In between, he also became a good dad, but then he, started to get many offers. of professorship from many universities. So actually, Merrick felt that Einstein prioritized his job first and then family. So in 1919, the couple divorced after 16 years of marriage. And after 4 months, Einstein remarried her, far off cousin, Elsa Einstein, who had two daughters too and was divorced for a year or so. Okay, and that was how Einstein's life was going. And then after the publishing of E is equal to mc squared theory, Einstein became a celebrity. After 1920, when the whole world came to know about the genius of Einstein and his theory of relativity, he became very famous. He used to go in different places to give lectures. For the first time, he left his mother continent and went to America, Princeton, as a guest with thousands of spectators. But, at that time, on the other hand, he was often attacked by anti-Semitism and discrimination of German Jews. To conclude, Einstein had a brilliant journey and had accomplished mind-blowing things in life, from the equation of E is equal to mc squared to great professorships in big universities. Many universities, his life always have been full of twists and turns and miracles. We missed a legend on April 18, 1955, when Albert Einstein died soon after a blood vessel burst near his heart. A true genius he was indeed. And the quote in the picture, is the quote when he said it to one of his students in the universities, that if you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough. He actually believes that big ideas about the universe, the relativity, should be explained easily. Yes, the one who can explain it easily is the real genius, like Einstein. Let's know some facts. 60 years later, the only permanent place to see pieces of the brain that changed the world is at the Mutter Museum at Philadelphia. In 1985, a study revealed that two parts of Einstein's brain contained an unusually large number of non-neuronal cells called glia for every neuron or nerve transmitting cell in the brain. His brain was also considered to be 15% wider than other brains. The researchers think that these unique brain characteristics may have allowed better connections between neurons, important for math and spatial reasoning. In this picture, you may be seeing that Einstein's brains are kept sliced in a box, which is kept in a well-preserved area with the right temperature and all that. The brain cells are still living, and this is the real photo of how the brain of Einstein is preserved. So here is the end of my summary of this book, and personally I feel that everybody should read this book once in their lifetime. This book, brilliantly clarifies that how a genius is, what a genius is, and how can you become a genius. Sometimes in this book you see that Einstein is really weird. There are amazing things about him. Once that he forgot his lunch when he was scribbling equations on his notebook. For hours and hours that he forgot to have lunch. And many things like this. Einstein was a very, lost and very forgetful man, but still it was worth it. He was a true genius. And okay, you must be thinking that how can we become genius because Einstein's brain was 15% wider? No, there is nothing like that. Everybody can be a genius. That's how Walter Isaacson has said in the starting of this book. Okay, the immense concentration, the whole energy was centralized towards his physics, the universe, and relativity. After reading this book, I'm a greater fan of Einstein. Before reading this book, I only thought that Einstein is just a scientist. No, Einstein is not just a scientist. He's a legend, a genius, who is still very inspiring in everyone's lives. So, thank you for watching this video. See you next time. Bye.